Welcome to SVG-TV News for Wednesday, November 29, 2017. I am Rochelle Baptiste with the details. With an alleged internal wrangling within the executive of the opposition New Democratic Party, the NDP, a General Secretary of the ruling Unity Labour Party, Julian Francis, has assessed that the party is cracking at the seams. On Star FM last night, Francis spoke fun at the bickering within the NDP over its recent senatorial appointment and claimed that the opposition Member of Parliament for Central Kingstown and Vice President of the NDP, Sinclair Leacock, is not the only one causing the rift. The ULP General Secretary stated that unlike others in the NDP, he does not and will never undermine decisions in the ULP.
Seems as if they're cracking at the seams, and Sinclair Leacock is the one who's leading it. Not the only one, because you know there is a lot of discussion going on in the camps of the NDP. He went on to say, well, Julian Francis makes all sorts of statements in the ULP and survives it. So he figures, well, if a fella his age, that is Julian his age, and Leacock and Kay, all three of us are the same age group, and Julian can make them kind of statements. Well, Julian make those statements against the NDP, not against the Unity Labour Party, Sinclair. When I speak publicly and I say all sorts of things, yes, I agree with you, but I never undermine a decision of my political leader or the executive or the parliamentary group of the Unity Labour Party. I've never done it and will never do it, and that's a basic difference between you and I. You want to be a strong man, but you have to be able to take your licks.
Senator Francis coughed at the wrangling within the NDP and said that the party seems to be in a conundrum as to who is the vice president and president.
Well, I don't know who is first and who is second. Obviously, Leacock is not first. And Patel, if he's first, is also being dominated by Eustace. Now, Eustace was the leader of that party. He gave up the leadership. They went into a contest. Leacock felt that he should get it. Up until today, statements he made last week, Wednesday, Leacock still is convinced that he is the solution for the New Democratic Party. He feels so. And this outburst that he has, he's glad for my bringing the matter to the fore last week so he can launch an attack on Friday in his absence. But what hurt him most of all is that him is the one who is neither first nor second vice president, a man who declared himself to be candidate in East Kingston without going through the processes of the constitution of the New Democratic Party, and seemed to have declared himself now as the deputy leader when Friday is not here, and he is in fact the leader when Friday is not here, and that is what is hurting Leacock as well.
On radio on Monday, former leader of the NDP, Arnim Eustace, cautioned that an ill-disciplined approach may contribute to a breakdown within the party. Eustace made this rebuff in relation to recent statements made on the radio by Vice President of the NDP, Sinclair Leacock, over the party's latest senatorial appointment, which Leacock felt could have been handled differently. Eustace said that Leacock, who is a senior member of the party, should know better, deeming his statements inappropriate. Eustace said there are organs within the party to address concerns within the party, and that an ill-disciplined approach should not be taken to deal with such issues. And in other news, this country is exploring the possibility of agricultural trade with the Middle Eastern country of Qatar. Finance Minister Camilo Gonzalez, who was recently returned from an official visit to that country at a media conference at Cabinet Room on Tuesday, said that the head of importation of foods into Qatar expressed strong interest in receiving agricultural produce from St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Gonzalez admitted that he had hesitation as to how these goods will be transported, but officials in that state assured him that it can be done.
I didn't raise agriculture with them simply because, quite honestly, and I may be speaking from ignorance, I just thought we were too far away from Qatar to affordably export agricultural products to Qatar. But the head of Hassad Foods, which is the importation arm of the Qatari government, said to me, what about agriculture? What about bananas? What about citrus? What about the food that you grow? And I said, Excellency, we have excellent soil, we have excellent farmers, we grow a lot of food, but we're on the other side of the world. And he said, essentially, let me worry about that.
Minister Gonzalez said because of disputes with other Arab nations, Qatar is seeking other means of getting food, and SVG could be a good agricultural provider.
Alternate arrangements to import food, and now they import most of their food from Iran and from Turkey across the sea because they don't have that land access anymore across Saudi Arabia. And a part of the new policy of the Qatari government is to import food from a variety of sources so that they will have food independence and reliability of their source, something they didn't have to contemplate before they had this dispute. Because of that, they are actively exploring food production and food importation in distant locales. And the representative from Hassad Food says if we have experience getting food to the United Kingdom and to Europe, which we do, logistics is their specialty, and they can have conversations with the Ministry of Agriculture about how to efficaciously and affordably and reliably get food from St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
The finance minister also announced that Vincentians may soon be able to study in Qatar. Gonzalez said although the details have not been finalized as to when and how many scholarships will be issued, there are numerous branches of British and American universities in the Arab nation.
So if you go to Qatar, Northwestern University, which is an American university, is in Qatar. Cornell University, which is an American university, is in Qatar. Texas A&M University is not just in Texas, but it's in Doha. The University of Liverpool, I believe, is also in Qatar, offering courses to Qataris and to people from around the world, but predominantly in that area. These classes are obviously, these are American and British universities. These classes are taught in English, and the degree that you get is the degree of the mother school. They indicated that as a gesture of friendship, they would be willing to extend 1 or 2 scholarships to Vincentians who already qualify for matriculation in these schools to attend universities. We don't have the final modalities worked out yet as to precisely how many and when it will begin, but we have an agreement on that.
This Christmas season will see over 5,000 persons here employed as road cleaners. According to Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonzalez, $3 million EC has been allocated towards the project. The Prime Minister noted in early September some $2.5 million were deposited into the school season road cleaner program, and that over 100 persons will also get seasonal employment at the port to make some money for the festive season.
It decided to allocate $3 million for the Christmas cleaner program, the work program. I guess some people may go out tomorrow. Today. Some have gone out today. Yes. All the constituencies. In just a few months ago in September, for the school opening, we had a $2.5 million road cleaning program. It costs a lot to clean the roads, and of course I'd like it to be $5 million. But the point is this: is that we have to measure the cloth appropriately to the circumstances. I don't know if every piece of road would get cleaned, but there's a lot of roads and a lot of people to be employed in the short-term basis.
The Prime Minister made a comparison of the spending of the opposition New Democratic Party, the NDP, whom he noted budgeted $300,000 but spent $200,000 to clean up 15 constituencies when they were in office.
They spent $200,000. You know, so 15 constituencies by $200,000. You will see that number. I don't know how he'd be able to split $200,000 between 15 constituencies. I understand they had budgeted $300,000. In fact, that's what I saw in the numbers. But they only spent $200,000. Could you imagine your budget? $20,000 a constituency, essentially. I can understand why some people didn't bother send out anybody, because there's a lot of confusion. You're going to have $20,000 constituency. It's a joke. Anyway, we have this $3 million road cleaning program, and there are some other special programs which we have. You know, we usually take on 100 and something persons at port. They have been taken on, and in other places to provide some short-term relief, young people.
Aimed at addressing climate change issues and how green tech businesses can play a role in combating such issues here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, an idea generation session was held here on Tuesday afternoon to provide counseling and guidance in developing entrepreneurial mindsets and skills towards the development of green tech businesses here. Hosted by the Conservative Solutions Inc., the CSI, which serves as a local hub for the Caribbean Climate Innovation Center, the CCIC. The event featured a panel discussion on climate change and related challenges affecting St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and heard presentations from a number of professionals from the agri-business and renewable energy fields. In his remarks, Executive Director of CSI, Dr. Ashley John, thanked the participants for displaying a willingness to combat climate change-related issues here in SVG.
Hosted by the vibrant team from the Climate Innovation Center, known as CCIC, based in Jamaica. The Government of Canada, through the World Bank Group, other regional and global partners and stakeholders fund this historic initiative. SVG has been fortunate to be recommended and selected by the CCIC team to help identify Vincentian entrepreneurial citizens who are creating methods to control the impact of climate change on the island, so that there can be more business support and access to grants, which is critical to bringing their ideas to reality and walking alongside them all the way to being commercial and sustainable enterprises. This is why this evening I'm really thankful that we have a rich source of panelists to speak to you soon, and they will share their rich knowledge with you on how we can tackle more climate change challenges in St. Vincent.
Noting that SVG and the entire Caribbean region is highly vulnerable to natural hazards, which will be increased due to climate change, Dr. John said there is a need for persons to be very creative and adopt green tech solutions to reduce such risk and help to increase a country's resilience.
The SVG once again demonstrates its commitment with this inclusive approach, ensuring our key decision makers, technically trained persons and entrepreneurial citizens come together to expand their knowledge, look at our challenges as a result of climate change, and come up with usable ideas and then put them to good use. After today's idea generation session, which is a lead up to the Caribbean Green Tech 54-hour boot camp, we will see St. Vincent and the Grenadines in a much better position, as it is absolutely clear well-educated citizens that are exposed to a wide range of ideas and different perspectives, who are equipped with skills and tools to participate actively in the economy, can gain a sustainable livelihood. We encourage each of you here today and in the coming days to fully participate, get involved, and make things happen.
Project Manager at CCIC, Carlington Burrell, said the session provides a forum for participants to develop new perspectives which can address climate change issues.
I believe that this ideation session will lead to finding the next great idea that's going to solve a particular problem or to start a new business is going to change the climate, but the economic and social landscape of St. Vincent. And we're going to do this through adaptation, resilience, and mitigation. For you, the entrepreneurs, our most valuable resources today, it is important that you uncover implicit knowledge. Get on the same page as your global counterpart. Let me repeat that. It is important that you get on the same page as your global counterpart. It's not just about thinking locally, but to think globally.
Staff and students of the Sandy Bay Primary School earlier today held a prayer service in observance of the one-year anniversary of the November 2016 floods, which destroyed a number of houses and other infrastructure in the area. A coordinator of the North Windward Management Committee, Owen Batty, said although no life was lost, the damage sustained was tremendous and had an impact on everyone in the community. Recently, it was announced that a piece of land has been earmarked to replace the London cemetery in the Sandy Bay area, which was partly destroyed by the flood waters, leaving a number of coffins exposed. And RSVG police force is currently carrying out investigations into a robbery which took place at around 2 a.m. Tuesday morning at the appliance and furniture store Singer in capital Kingstown. According to a report, 2 persons smashed the window at the Singer store and made off with 3 flat-screen television sets, 2 of which are 32-inch and 1 40-inch, along with a stereo set. Coming out of a week of activities held here in early October to commemorate Mental Health Day 2017, celebrated on October 10th, a series of presentations are set to take place at various workplaces throughout SVG to sensitize workers on mental health issues and to help eradicate the stigma towards persons living with mental health issues. Hosted by the Mental Health Rehabilitation Center through the aid of the Ministry of Health, Wellness and the Environment, the presentations began earlier today at the Ministry of Housing, as managers and other employees had the opportunity to learn how to tackle issues which contribute to mental illnesses developing within the workplace. They were also taught how to detect signs and symptoms of such illnesses among themselves and how they can protect each other. In her presentation, ward manager at the Mental Health Rehabilitation Center, Sister Melissa Stowe, highlighted the myths of mental health, noting that mental health problems are very common.
Children don't experience mental health problems. Again, another myth. Half of all mental health disorders show first signs before a person turns 14 years old and 3/4 by the time they reach age 24. Avoidant acts can be attributed to individuals living with a serious mental illness. So it's the so-called normal men and women who actually commit most of the violent crimes, right? People with mental health problems are just as productive as other employees. Employers who hire persons with mental health problems reported good attendance and punctuality, as well as motivation, good work, and their job tenure is on par with or greater than that of other employees. So I have a theory about this. Persons with mental health problems, once it is known, it is hard for them to get a job, right? So when they have that job, they do everything they can to keep what they have.
Presenting information based on mental health in the workplace, social worker Roselle Solomon said the working environment has a lot to do with one's psychological health.
Mental health helps to determine, the economic health and cost of the organization. Because if it is that you have people coming to work who are not happy, they won't produce. And if they don't produce and the work environment isn't conducive to them producing, people can get sick. And therefore you have to bring in new people, you have to train new people, you have to do all of these different things. And therefore it comes back to the financial burden of the organization. Yes, we know that within the government service, this is your job description, these are things to do. But sometimes people feel restricted because they have ideas, they want to pass pass on, and you can't pass on information because it's a small fish. Small fish have information too.
The Ministry of Education now handles much more than schools and libraries. That's according to Education Officer with the Media and Communications Department of the Ministry of Education, Marlon Nanton, as she highlighted the responsibilities of the now Ministry of Education, National Reconciliation and Information. This change came about due to a recent reshuffle of portfolios and cabinet, and Nanton highlighted what this means for the Ministry of Education.
Within the ministry, there is a small unit responsible for national reconciliation, and this unit primarily liaises with various community groups and other key stakeholders to build and sustain a harmonious society, as captured in our mission statement. This is the unit that also handles the processing and issuing of marriage officers' licenses. It maintains a record of registered religious entities in the state, and the unit also processes duty-free concessions and waivers for churches. On the other side of things, the scope of our ministry has just expanded to include information, particularly radio and television broadcasting. So NBC Radio and the National Broadcasting Corporation and the Agency for Public Information, the API, are now under the umbrella of the Ministry of Education, National Reconciliation and Information.
The 2017 SVG Christmas 9 Mornings Festival will be officially launched this Sunday, December 3rd from 6 p.m. at Heritage Square. The program will begin with the traditional lighted street parade featuring the police band, cadet corps band, Cyan Hill Euphonium Steel Orchestra, X-Band string bands, Rose Hall Boom Jam, and the Rose Hall Drummers. This will be followed by a community Christmas concert and the lighting of Heritage Square. During the parade, the various communities participating in the festival will vie for Best Community on Parade. They will be judged on costumes, use of traditional lights and music, quality of presentation, and size of contingent. The winning community will earn 2,000 EC dollars. The village of Green Hill won the competition last year with their presentation of Christmas in Green Hill. According to the National 9 Mornings Committee, the lighted street parade will feature some additions this year, which will include a parade of nations with persons from the Logos Hope ship now in Port Kingston dressed in their national costumes along with Uncle Skinny characters. The community Christmas concert will begin with a special prayer and word for the nation by Reverend Stephen Oliver of the Faith Temple Church. This will be followed by the Best Community Song Competition, in which participating villages in the festival will sing a song about Christmas in their community, with the winner receiving $1,500. Rosebank won the inaugural competition last year with their song Rosebank Has a Nice Feeling. Minister of Tourism, Sports and Culture Cecil Mackey is expected to declare the festival open, following which there will be the lighting of Heritage Square. The launch is being held under the theme Christmas 2017, Spreading the Love. The 9 Mornings festivities, which are unique to St. Vincent and the Grenadines, will be staged across the country from December 16th to the 24th.